Kevin McCarthy announced today that an impeachment inquiry will begin into the Biden corruption.
Despite these serious allegations, it appears that the president's family has been offered special treatment by Biden's own administration. Treatment that not otherwise would have received if they were not related to the president. These are allegations of abuse of power, obstruction, and corruption. And they warrant further investigation by the House of Representatives. That's why today I am directing our House committee to open a formal impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden. This logical next step will give our committees the full power to gather all the facts and answers for the American public. That's exactly what we want to know, the answers. I believe the president would want to answer these questions and allegations as well. This effort will be led by Chairman James Comer at the Committee on Oversight, in coordination with Chairman Jim Jordan for Judiciary Committee and Chairman Jason Smith on Ways and Means. Now, I do not make this decision lightly. And regardless of your party or who you voted for, these facts should concern all Americans.
It's important to remember there that Kevin McCarthy is not under oath, and so he can just stand there and lie. If you've watched any of the House committee hearings over the past 2 years, you would know that everything he said there has been disproven time and time again, because House Republicans have been obsessed with Joe Biden and Hunter Biden and all of this talk of Burisma. So much so that when Freedom Caucus leader Scott Perry went before reporters and they asked him why they're doing this without any real evidence, he pretty much lost it.
All right, last question. Yes, ma'am.
Can I just ask, what actual evidence do you have as opposed to allegations to show to the American public that would merit an actual impeachment inquiry of Joe Biden and prove that today isn't just about some of you...
Oh, I don't know.
McCarthy for the sake of enacting political revenge.
This isn't about political revenge. We have the bank accounts. We can see, ma'am, you can see that the homes that the Bidens own can't be afforded on a congressional or Senate salary. You also understand that it's not normal for family members to receive millions of dollars from overseas interests. Those things aren't normal. That's not normal to have 20 shell companies. These things are not normal, and it alludes to not only just widespread corruption, but money laundering, if not influence peddling itself. And we also have the president, the vice president at the time, on record saying that the prosecutor was fired. Well, son of a bitch, the prosecutor was fired, right? Because the prosecutor was going after the company that his son was working on. That's what we have. If you can't see that, if you are that blind, look, I'll turn it over to the attorneys.
People can't see that. They think it's political revenge.
It's because you don't report on it.
We're here reporting on it today.
I'm not sure how you know what the American people think, but here's what they might wonder.
So there you have it. Scott Perry talking about totally different allegations than what Kevin McCarthy was talking about. So House Republicans here aren't even on the same page with how they're going to lie about this in the future over the next 2 years. Matt Gaetz also had a problem with Kevin McCarthy, so he went to the House floor today to criticize the speaker.
On this very floor in January, the whole world witnessed a historic contest for House Speaker. I rise today to serve notice. Mr. Speaker, you are out of compliance with the agreement that allowed you to assume this role. The path forward for the House of Representatives is to either bring you into immediate total compliance or remove you pursuant to a motion to vacate the chair. We have had no vote on term limits or on balanced budgets as the agreement demanded and required. There's been no full release of the January 6 tapes as you promised. There has been insufficient accountability for the Biden crime family, and instead of cutting spending to raise the debt limit, you relied on budgetary gimmicks and rescissions so that you ultimately ended up serving as the valet to underwrite Biden's debt and advance his spending agenda. Mr. Speaker, you boasted in January that we would use the power of the subpoena and the power of the purse. But here we are, 8 months later, and we haven't even sent the first subpoena to Hunter Biden. That's how you know that the rushed and somewhat rattled performance you just saw from the Speaker isn't real. At this point, during Democrat control over the House of Representatives, they had already brought in Don Jr. 3 times. And we haven't even sent the first subpoena to Hunter Biden. Power of the subpoena and power of the purse. Only thing the 118th Congress is known for at this point is electing Kevin McCarthy Speaker and underwriting Biden's debt. And unfortunately, there's only one of those things we can remediate at this time. Power of the purse.
This just goes to show that the House Republicans are still in that kind of civil infighting that we saw when Kevin McCarthy was trying to get that speakership role. Democrats, on the other hand, are not taking this serious at all. Here is Senator Fetterman responding to McCarthy's announcement.
About this news that Speaker McCarthy has formally launched an impeachment or has said he's going to.
Oh my God, really? Oh my gosh, it's devastating. Ooh, don't do it. Please don't do it. Oh no.
We gotta run back to the office.
So why is Kevin McCarthy doing this? Why is he starting an impeachment inquiry into President Biden? Well, the simple answer is it is a continuation of the long con game for Donald Trump. Donald Trump has been indicted 4 times. He's set to stand trial in Georgia, which will be televised. And so Republicans know that the 2024 presidential election is looking like it's going to be a bloodbath, and they need to do something to fight back. And this is their answer. Is to just make up lies about Biden and his family, Biden and his wealth, and hope that it sticks for some Americans. Now, what we've seen, I think, with Donald Trump is that the middle America, they know the crook that he is, which is why House Republicans are resorting to something so nasty as this. This is really to save the Republican Party, because we've seen, like the video I showed, that Matt Gaetz and people inside the party are fighting. There's not unity. There's not cohesion, and that is a problem for Republicans, especially leading up to a presidential election. So I'm curious to know what you think about McCarthy's plan here. If it will be successful beyond the Republican Party, or if this will backfire in the Republican Party and end up making things worse than it already is. I don't even know how it can be worse than it already is when you have the circus that is the Republican Party. But man, if anything, this, looking on the bright side of things, they're so desperate. And that's what kind of gives me hope for the bloodbath that I think will be in the electoral bloodbath that will be in 2024. So I'm interested to hear what you think. Thanks for watching the video. My name is Brendan Plank with Reflect here on Facebook and YouTube. Depends on where you're watching. If you're brand new, be sure to follow the Facebook page or subscribe on YouTube. And if you made it this far, like the video and share the video to bring more people in so they can reflect on Kevin McCarthy's the circus that is the Republican Party. I'll see you in the next video.